And we'll just give it a little minute just so people can join us from the lobby. Bear with us 2 seconds as we just allow the last few people into the meeting. Okay, just a couple of late attendees and then we'll get kicked off. Okay, so good morning. My name is Damien McCann, and I'm the Chief Commercial Officer here with the Viatel Technology Group. And I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you all to the first Viatel webinar of 2025, which is really a webinar where we're looking at our cloud strategy and our network, underlying network infrastructure as we connect to the cloud in 2025. I'm delighted to be joined by our group CTO, Eilish O'Connor, Oliver Mallon, who heads up our solution architect team here at Viatel, and also Joe O'Gorman joins us from Cisco. So Joe is a SASE specialist, solution specialist with Cisco. So we have the very best of knowledge here for you on hand here at Viatel today, and it should be a very lively and exciting webinar that we have with great content for everyone that joins us. So thank you for joining us, and we'll kick off into it. So just to frame it up in terms of some people will know Viatel, and of course some people were new to you. So Viatel, in a nutshell, so we've like over 26 years of experience in data centers and networking solutions, connectivity, digital services here in the Irish marketplace. So we've got reams of experience across the team that your business can benefit from. In terms of from a customer perspective, we've now over 2,500 business customers here in the Irish market that stretch from really large enterprise, mid-market, is really where our sweet spot is as we address the market opportunity across all different types of sectors: professional services, fintech, retail, healthcare. So really education. So really we have a broad spectrum in terms of sector and vertical focus. Our team has amassed and grown over the years. We've now over 350 employees here in Viatel. Each and every one of those roles, we're so proud of every role that we provide in the market. So great people that we have, and it's all part of our culture is to bring our team with us on the journey to provide exceptional services into our customers. From a network infrastructure perspective, we just completed a big network upgrade. So we've upgraded our core network infrastructure to a 100 gig network with diverse routes into the UK and then on into Europe, providing you with the best underlying infrastructure in the market. So we're very proud of the network that we run here. Delighted to run this webinar in partnership with our good friends at Cisco. So we're the #1 Cisco SD-WAN partner in the Irish market, working closely with the Meraki team there. And we've been on that journey for a long time. We'll talk you through that at some stage on the webinar today. And then finally, from a business perspective, we're around the clock here in Dublin and Limerick and Dundalk. Our support centers run 24/7, 365. So supporting your business, supporting your network, supporting your cloud services, absolutely every day of the year, hear from our experts in Ireland. So very proud of the operations that we run here from our 3 data centers, which are Dublin Blanchardstown, DC1, Profile Park, DC2, and Park West, DC3. So full private and public cloud capabilities there. So as I said, I'm joined here by our CTO, Eilish O'Connor. So Eilish was going to give us a quick whirlwind tour of our solution overview. Eilish.
Thanks, Damien. Yeah, look, our services have been evolving over the years. So obviously we're, for 26 years, we've been providing the foundational services to our business customers. We really keep the lights on and keep our businesses operational. So whether that's your network, your voice solutions, we really believe in taking a modern approach to these. So, with regards to, cloud adoption, AI, and so on, It's really around modern, resilient, robust networks and communication services. And that's why we're here today to talk about SD-WAN. But of course, we provide other really key technology and services to our business customers as well, in particular around the areas of IT services, Microsoft solutions, and of course, then cybersecurity. Because if you're talking about keeping operational in a modern world, you really do need to make cybersecurity and resilience at the heart of everything you do. There's been a lot of talk about AI adoption, and we'll speak a little bit more about that in a second. But obviously, with all of this technology that we provide, we're also at the cutting edge of technology as well, and we help our customers to go on that path. Speaking about AI, it's really been the one thing that businesses and people in general, I mean, it's the one technology over the last number of years that has really resonated with people. But I suppose from a business perspective, it's not a case of simply turning on AI, right? You have to be quite careful with it as well to really harness the benefits that it can bring your business. So we take an approach of getting yourself AI ready to be able to adopt the really best of the technology. So the very first step in that is having that robust network infrastructure, which is our first step as well, our first webinar this year. And really, it's all about cloud adoption because AI, you really need to have that compute power and so on to be able to run AI within your business. So that cloud adoption is absolutely critical for it. Of course, when you introduce a new technology, and none more so than AI, you obviously have to bring in your cybersecurity measures and your controls as well. AI is fantastic, but it also introduces new risks to the business, in particular around data leaks and things like that, that you really do need to put a lot of thought into and a lot of effort. So we really see the adoption of AI actually driving investment in cybersecurity as well. And of course, I mentioned about data integrity. AI is all about the quality of the data that you're feeding into it. So there's some really good tools out there, such as Microsoft Purview and so on, that will really help with you understanding, first of all, your data, helping to protect it, keep it compliant, and then really to make sure that you're getting the best out of AI by having the best data feeding into it. And then, of course, you can't forget the human element. So AI, people say AI is going to replace people. Actually, no, a lot of people will say it's people who use AI that will replace other people. So that human element is really important, making sure that your people are skilled up, they understand it, but then also that you're building in the governance as well, right? Because there's obviously, again, a certain amount of risk with regards to ethics and so on, and that you need to make sure that you as a business are ready for. So there really are 6 steps to AI adoption that we bring our customers on. I'll hand back to Damien.
Yeah, I think, to put some color in terms of cloud adoption and network infrastructure suitable for accelerating your journey to cloud. A couple of nice examples that we've highlighted here, and you can see in the logos that we're sharing. 2 key case studies that we refer to and we've permission to talk about. The first would be CPL Resources, where we've rolled out a state-of-the-art SD-WAN network, Meraki SD-WAN network across CPL's infrastructure here in Ireland and also across Europe. And that really has helped accelerate CPL's journey as they connect into more effective cloud solutions in the market. Another nice example there in the healthcare space is Centric Health. Again, a customer that's been growing in terms of number of sites, their business operations, more investment into that business. And the SD-WAN network has really helped them accelerate and realize their digital ambitions as they transform their business from a traditional GP healthcare practice into a healthcare practice of the future. So, like I say, we've plenty of examples here. We've been in this business a long time. When you look at the numbers, like when we look back to our first SD-WAN, Eilish, was back in 2017, where we first deployed a 3-site network into an engineering business here in Ireland. And really, we thought that was, we were doing some magnificent work at the time. But really, what's come about with the SD-WAN journey with Cisco has been scale. We've over 400 networks delivered at this stage, thousands of devices. We're live in over 20 countries now at this stage, and clocking up the network hours, network support hours. So our team of support engineers are true experts in this space, troubleshooting and learning over the years. We have Meraki masters at our disposal and engineers that are qualified to support networks as they scale across both Ireland and internationally.
And speaking about Meraki Masters and
Yeah.
the experts, we're going to hand over to Oliver Mellon. So Oliver is head of our solution architects team, and Oliver and his team have really been at the forefront of driving that success in SD-WAN. They've architected some of the largest and most successful SD-WAN networks in the country. So we'll hand over to Oliver now.
Thanks, Elish. So to set the context, there's really been a paradigm shift in the IT landscape over the last decade or so. If we think back, the majority of the IT estate was housed within the data center or head office. So things like your email servers, your applications, your databases. So the perimeter was quite well defined, and really all the focus and the energy was around securing that perimeter. And you could be pretty confident that your data would be safe. However, as we've moved to a more cloud-centric world, that perimeter is now becoming blurred. So we have to change our perspective as how we think about the network. If we look at the evolution of that perimeter, we can see that the core IT infrastructure has now moved beyond the data center. So on the right, we've now got hybrid and cloud infrastructure, and there's been a huge growth in the number of SaaS applications. So we can all probably think of examples each day of applications that we use that now live on the internet. So things like Microsoft 365, maybe it's your CRM or ERP system, or maybe it's some of your back office financial and HR platforms. On the left then, users are now everywhere. Of course, this has been accelerated by the pandemic. And then if we look at devices, we've now got personal and BYOD. And there's been an explosion in the amount of IoT devices. So the perimeter is really everywhere, and we have to adapt the network to basically reflect that. To look at things from the context of the network, I think it's fair to say the traditional WAN has changed dramatically. Previously, about 80% of all network traffic was internal. So the focus was on the really private links and private connections to bring all that data back to head office. And about 20% of traffic was internet-based. So, centralized firewall at head office or the data center made sense for that internet-based traffic. But as we've just seen, the majority of traffic is now internet-based. So bringing all that traffic back to HQ for centralized internet breakout no longer makes any sense. It creates a strain on the core data center infrastructure, and it may also lead to a poor user experience for those staff at the branches trying to access those cloud and those SaaS applications. So SD-WAN really solves that challenge by bringing together the best of both worlds. The SD-WAN appliances can securely route all the corporate traffic back to the head office of the data center. But internet traffic can break out locally at each of their branches. So we're removing that overhead and we're allowing people to go directly to those cloud and SaaS applications. In order to do this, the appliances are also next generation firewalls. So we're bringing security out to the edge of the organization. And then we can also deploy a virtual appliance in the public cloud. So we're securing traffic to your cloud workloads, and we're bringing your cloud tenant. We're making that a hub on the network and an integral part of your wide area network. We spoke earlier about remote users. So again, we can securely connect those remote users to your corporate network and to the cloud workloads. So that gives peace of mind, and it means we've got consistent security posture for both your office-based staff and your remote users. It also means that remote users can connect to the cloud workloads, even if the data center or the head office is offline. So we're removing what was once considered as main sites being a single point of failure, and really allowing organizations to take the full benefits of cloud. There's no point having those workloads that are decoupled to the cloud if users can't access it. And then finally, as we look forward towards the evolution to cloud-delivered security, we have what Gartner have coined SASE, which is Secure Access and Secure Service Edge. So Secure Service Edge being the sort of advanced security capabilities that you see on the right, over and above what you'd find in a traditional firewall appliance. And on the left, SD-WAN is actually the secure access part. So by investing in SD-WAN, you're really putting the foundation in place to basically allow you to move towards full cloud security in the future. So at this point, I'll bring in Joe because I know he's got some insights around the SASE side of things. So, Joe, maybe do you want to give some insights to SASE and how SD-WAN relates to that?
Yeah, and you mentioned a key thing there, Gartner, right? So Gartner, and many times have fed back to Cisco that the SD-WAN should not be overlooked or dismissed in terms of its importance on that SASE journey. And it is a journey. It's not a flick of the switch to suddenly go full SASE overnight. Most organizations will have everything that's mentioned in those two circles there in a point solution type environment. So they've got all the components of SASE. It's just actually getting to that Gartner definition where you bring it all in to a single console, a single vendor, single subscription, and you get all these kind of commercial and operational benefits. So it's a very important step, particularly when we're going to an internet and cloud-centric world. Connectivity is absolutely vital. If you don't have the connectivity, you're not connecting to these services. User experience, etc., all falls by the wayside. So it is a very important first step. What I would say is don't look at it in isolation. Look at it, the steps beyond. Where do you want to get to in terms of that SASE journey? And make your decisions based on what the subsequent steps are going to be. And we're seeing that quite a lot in the UK, actually. There's a number of organisations that are coming around to that way of thinking. One that I'm working on just now is a large UK retailer called Greggs Bakeries. You might have heard of them. I know they're not in Ireland, but they've got about 2,500 branches, and they actually took a decision that they were going to modernise their network. So head offices, retail establishments, they were going to move away from having things data centre centric and move to a more modern connectivity. So they adopted SD-WAN, and but internally they branded it as SASE ready, with a view that 2 years down the line, once they got it rolled out, they were going to actually look at the cloud deliver security that was going to bring all this capability in the right-hand side there. So yeah, very important and fundamental part to the whole SASE story.
Perfect. Thanks, Joe. And I should have mentioned that at the onset of this, if anyone has any questions for Joe, Oliver, Eilish, just pop them into the chat section, and we can pick them up at the Q&A section at the end. But thanks for the insights there, Joe. Yeah, so just in terms of, if we were looking, Eilish, at the ingredients for success, and we've distilled these down over many years since 2017, from the first network we've deployed to where we are today. And there's fundamental layers of ingredients that deliver success in a strong deployment or a correct deployment of an SD-WAN network that's ready for the cloud. And I think the foundation level, although I'll put it at the top, is around your account management relationship has to be very, very strong, sharing of information at the start. And then also, I would say, is bringing in a network expert, solution architect early in the process, the likes of Oliver and his team, to lend their expertise and their knowledge in terms of design and consultation from as early as possible in the process. The second is really, as you go through the process where we see this successful, is that customers identify almost a priority list around their sites in terms of these are, my ultra important primary sites that, need to be lifted and shifted in the network deployment first. And then these are my B sites and these are my C sites, could be smaller hub locations that are less important in terms of the deployment, but important that to go well, but less so in terms of your priority. And often what we've seen in some of the recent networks we've deployed is that it's a head office, it's a production site, it's the warehouse, logistics, operation sites, the data center sites that are top of the list, and then smaller remote sites that come down the priority list. The other piece is then, and a lot of people forget this and customers forget this, is project management. Is in Viatel, we appoint a project manager to every SD-WAN network deployment. It's part of the service, part of the white glove service we provide our customers, and that really is to handhold our customers through the journey, show them where the key milestones are in delivery, and just make sure that we're meeting our side of the delivery expectation and the customer is also meeting their side. So that's critical, and we stick to that rollout plan that we agreed in the beginning. Eilish, what do you think in terms of SLAs, etc.?
Yeah, I think they're really important. You know, something that again Viatel is very good at is marrying the underlying connectivity and the SD-WAN together. And we've deployed really large networks. But of course, with all technology and any service that people offer, you know, things can go wrong, or there might be challenges. So it's really critical that we assign a dedicated service manager. So the service manager will work hand in hand with the account manager to make sure that we have that relationship with the customer, to make sure that we're meeting our SLAs, and also to proactively try to find any areas that might become problematic and deal with them in a more proactive way, and making sure that we're dealing with things head on before things escalate. And to back up all of that, we do have our 24/7 365 knock and a full escalation process as well if we ever need it. It's very rare that we will, but that goes all the way up to our Chief Operations Officer as well. So you have the full team behind the deployment. But of course, you know, our account managers and our solution architects, we make a joke, they're not just for Christmas, they're for life. You know, really what we believe truly in is partnership with our customers. What we find is people that are going on that SD-WAN journey are very proactive around their own technology roadmap. And we want to be part of that and to see how we can assist with that, whether that's in the expansion. So a lot of our customers will be, you know, things on a growth journey or an M&A journey, but also from a technology perspective. I mean, obviously, a lot of people who are deploying modern networks such as SD-WAN, security is at the heart of it. So we really work with our customers to make sure that we're implementing security in the network, but also across the business, whether that's from a protect side or from a detect and response side as well. And as well as that, then from an IT perspective, Microsoft and so on, we really do feel that we are part of our customers' organization and helping to feed in and support their technology roadmaps.
Okay, excellent. So that's our ingredients for success, that distilled down onto one page, but I think hopefully some insights there for businesses out there. Okay, so moving on to questions and answers, and hopefully we can we have a few. Let me see here. Joe, if we could bring you in at this stage. Joe, question here. Cisco related. So in terms of Cisco, there's two SD-WAN offerings. So is there a plan? Is there strategy one having two, and is there a plan that they'll come together at some point, or will you distill them down to a single offering in the market?
Yeah, so we will. It's a very good question, actually, and very topical at the moment. Yes, we will keep the two SD-WAN offerings. However, what you'll hear a lot from Cisco is point versus platform, right? And basically what we're saying is we're moving more of our point solutions into a platform. What does that mean? Single console, single management interface, and making it a lot easier for organizations to operate. And SD-WAN falls into that. We have two SD-WAN offerings. One is very much aimed at the lean IT and cloud, those that like cloud management. For more organizations that value or have a more complex environment, i.e. they don't have uniformed branches, or they need that kind of very granular segmentation, we do have an SD-WAN platform as well. So it's really kind of depending on the use case, depending on what SD-WAN we'll go with, but there is a single management interface. And actually what we're finding now, I mentioned Greggs earlier on, actually. Greggs is a perfect example of an organization taking both those SD-WAN offerings. So they took Meraki SD-WAN for the retail, and for the few offices they had, they've taken Catalyst SD-WAN, but again, through that single management interface.
Okay.
Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, thanks for that. There's a second part to this question regarding VPNs and your view in terms of the future of VPNs. I know there's some reports recently the VPN's dead, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it will eventually disappear, but it's a bit premature to say it's going just now. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is there are certain applications where zero trust network architecture, or ZTNA, is not appropriate. So if you look at applications that use the SIP protocol, they don't lend themselves to ZTNA. So from that perspective, you probably still want to connect by a VPN. There's also the thing as well that, moving to a zero trust network architecture, particularly if you're a large or decent sized organization, you have to go around those individual applications and those individual user groups and make it a ZTNA ready. That takes a lot of time. And, for a lot of organizations, they still need that VPN there and operate both models. So that lends itself to another question as to how you deal with that user friction, because that's what we've seen. Users that are trying to log on to an application, they can't get logged on, they can't quite understand why, and then the penny drops that maybe they should be going through VPN. That causes a lot of frustration, right? And the way that Cisco is dealing with that is we're dealing with that under the covers. So whether it's VPN or ZTNA, that becomes transparent to the customer. They just log on to the application and it has the same look and feel. They don't care or don't know whether it's a ZTN or VPN. So hopefully that answers the question.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So life in the old VPNs yet.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, just a reminder, anyone has any questions, just pop them in the chat and the team will send them through to me. So a couple more just come through there. Oliver, this person's coming at it from a security features perspective, and we all know cybersecurity is top of mind for us all every day, both here in Viatel and as we're at the edge with our customers. Oliver, what security features do the SD-WAN appliances provide?
Yeah, so good question. So as I mentioned earlier, the SD-WAN appliances are essentially a router and a next generation firewall in the one appliance. And the reason for that is because we have, internet breakout at the branches, we have to secure those locations. So they provide full layer 7 deep packet inspection, and that allows it to do things like advanced malware protection, intrusion detection, URL filtering as well. So it's able to categorize URLs, and you can block and allow specific categories or specific URLs. And that's all backed up by Talos, which is Cisco's global security center. So you're able to benefit from that global security knowledge that Cisco has across its entire estate.
Maybe Joe, on Talos, if you could give us just a couple of high level points on it and what the capability that's in Talos.
Yeah, Talos is, I would actually view as a crown jewels within Cisco. For those of you on the call that are not aware of it, Talos is an organization that has 400 cyber analysts. And these are not people that are doing a dual job and cyber analysis is part of it. They are dedicated to that role. And they use various sources around the globe, so they're constantly up to date on the threat landscape. And that intelligence is actually fed through to all our products. So, a number of vendors that use a firewall and use that analysis to kind of come up with threats. We take a different approach. We're using Talos and then pushing that through to all our products. So if you buy a Cisco security product, you're getting that Talos intelligence as part of that solution.
Okay, thanks for the insight there. One more question there, Oliver again.
Yeah.
So looking at cloud offerings, do the virtual appliances, what cloud offerings do the virtual appliances support?
Yeah, good question. So it supports all the major public cloud offerings. So AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and Alibaba public cloud offerings, and there will be support soon for private cloud offerings as well.
And just from your interaction with customers, what are you seeing most customers? What cloud?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Azure. Obviously, there's a lot of our customers here in Ireland would have some sort of Azure workload. So practically almost all of our SD-WAN customers, have gone on that cloud journey and would have a virtual appliance in Azure, and that's now an integral part of their WAN. So it's really about making sure your network is in lockstep with that cloud adoption journey.
Yeah, yeah. And then direct connects into Azure.
Yeah, we offer direct connects as well into all the major public cloud offerings. So again, we have a lot of customers using direct connects into Azure. Either they're moving to Azure or maybe they're using it for replication for DR, and they have that dedicated link into the public cloud.
Cool. Okay, and I think from a question perspective, that's it, unless I don't see any more have come through at this stage. So that's a wrap on the questions. I guess, just to leave everyone in terms of today and spot on time in terms of what we have an offer for anyone that's on the webinar to have priority access to our solution experts. And we can bring Joe in, Oliver in on any of the engagements. You can book a 30-minute session with ourselves by the end of January and connect directly into the solution experts. Everyone that signs up gets an exclusive Cisco swag bag and a whole lot of goodies in that. So just scan the QR code there, or you can drop us an email, hello@viatel.com. So scan that QR code that's on your screen. I assure you it's fully secure. Or drop us an email to hello@viatel.com, and we will get you registered for those sessions. So like I say, every single session by the 31st of January, we will send you out a nice Viatel Cisco swag bag. So nice way to kick off the new year. So with that, I'd like to say a huge thank you from everyone here in Viatel, from our friends in Cisco. We're deeply proud of the relationship we built with Cisco over the years, and we're delighted to bring this knowledge and capability to yourselves. Keep an eye out for our next webinar, and we look forward to chatting to you all soon. Any engagements, reach out direct. We would love to get involved with your opportunities as they arise. Thanks a million, and see you soon.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.